Natasha Bedington, Soulmate. It's right here on Dan Radio Style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. And no, I am manifesting multiple things at once. Had a great question from one of the viewers, and I thought, this is kind of a good one. And we've kind of covered this before, but a long time ago, and certainly always good to kind of revisit stuff. And as I've grown and matured and practiced and whatnot, I've kind of tended to alter my views. Not views per se, but my understanding of things has gotten a little more broad and a little more deep, I guess. So maybe it helps to sometimes refresh these avenues, but multiple things at once. Now, there's I've heard a lot of just black and white answers put out there. No, it's best to work on one thing at a time. One thing at a time, stay focused on it till you get it. Then you work on the next thing, then you work on the next thing, then you work on the next thing. Yeah, there's truly truth to that, without a doubt. If you are working on one thing at a time, you're putting more energy towards it, and thusly you are increasing the likelihood of creating that versus spreading out or diffusing, if you will, or diffusing your energy onto multiple fronts. So yes, there is that. We'll just say that right off the bat. Generally speaking, yes. That doesn't really generally work well towards life, towards how we are all kind of trying to live through life. And certainly for many people are trying to manifest maybe a specific someone, for example, it's not necessarily a good idea to not work on any other areas of your life. Oftentimes, when we're trying to manifest a specific someone, for example, there are other things that come into play, probably anyways. There should be, most likely is, issues to do with maybe our careers and what kind of future we're setting up for ourselves, and is that actually something that allows for a family or allows for a relationship or, those kinds of things. So certainly that can come into play. We also have to look at what we're opened to, what we're able to do as far as, time, for example. Do we have the time? I sort of mentioned that. Do we have something that maybe pays enough money to kind of get us down that path? Is it something that's maybe not legal, right? And that may cause problems, right? There's always some little other things that can go when trying to manifest a specific person. When trying to manifest a job, maybe there's certain habits that you might have that maybe don't bode well. Drug tests, for example, or something along those lines. Maybe your credit's poor. A lot of times they'll run credit checks when you get jobs. Maybe you've got a poor driving record and you're trying to get a driver's job. Again, there's aspects that sometimes don't work well for the direction you're trying to go. So it's important to understand when we're trying to manifest multiple things at once, there's kind of a lot of things at work. Now, I believe when things are kind of in the same general direction, I recommend it. I think it's a good idea to kind of manifest a direction. It works better for me only in that I don't like trying to break my life down into a bunch of individual little wants, little individual things that I desire. Like, I'd love to have a relationship, but at the same time, without a doubt, I'm interested in forwarding my career. And at the same time, without a doubt, I'm also interested in moving forward on my YouTube channel. Now, if all I did was focused on YouTube 100% of the day, if I was able to do basically like Anya's, I'm 100% sure I would be able to grow my YouTube channel faster than I currently am working on it. Less than that, for sure, a lot less than that. Now, one could say, well, if you're trying to make your YouTube channel more successful, don't you think it would behoove you to spend more time on your YouTube channel? Okay, let's just factor that out real quick from where I'm at right now. YouTube channel pays next to nothing, practically nothing. And thank you. I'll see if I can pull it up quickly. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, but we're going to give it a go real quick. But again, sometimes if I wanted to try to work on my YouTube channel, constantly, then I couldn't really focus on my normal job, which actually pays the bills right now, right? I wouldn't be able to spend time with this wonderful person that I'm spending time with now. And so without those things in my life, I would probably lose my condo, wouldn't be able to live here anymore. Two, and by the way, I just wanted to say a quick thanks to Amy. Amy, thank you so much for your donation. That was super, super nice, by the way. And try to get in touch with me email-wise about the question you had asked me in your little comment. I don't think I have a way to comment back through PayPal, so whatever. Appreciate that, though. Oh, my gosh, that was ridiculously nice. So that is super cool. So, yeah, reach out to me if you're interested in what you were talking about. But again, so YouTube, I'm kind of growing it in the direction I'm growing in. It's a far cry from replacing my current job, which pays me very, very well, have a great deal of satisfaction doing it, get to do some traveling, which is kind of groovy once in a while. But again, it's that whole thing. And then on top of that, spending some time with this wonderful lady that I'm spending time with. So all of these things for me are happening at the same time, and definitely are things that I'm manifesting at the same time. Again, if I just focused on the one thing, I really would have a harder time with the others. And at the same time, that one's not quite ready to just full bore go after it. And so, again, and the relationship thing's not the only important thing in my life. So just focusing on that, I feel like I would be missing out on a great number of other things in my life that have been very rewarding and very wonderful. So that being said, there's certainly a lot to be said about trying to manifest multiple things at once. Now, important to remember, what we vibrate at, we attract. Now, in the case of trying to manifest multiple things, just to keep using my lame example, YouTube, work, girlfriend, right? All these great things are, what I'm vibrating at is what I'm attracting. Well, all of these, in my opinion, are kind of in the same cone of vision, if you will. They're all in this forward, like family, job, career, life, enjoyment, toys, whatever, like all that fun stuff, just enjoying life, like just making the best of life, making the best of it. And so when I keep my thoughts in those general directions, well, all of these things are kind of manifesting themselves for me. Now, am I doing a lot of imaginal work for each one of these? No, but when I think about YouTube, I see it growing. When I think about my career, I see it expanding. Like, there's no, constantly have to keep asking, my career is going to be better. My career, no, it's going in a great direction. I'm thrilled to pieces with the direction it's going, and likewise with the girlfriend. Everything's going great. I couldn't ask for more. So I'm enjoying the ride, and I'm continuing to focus in the direction that I'm heading. It's one of those things where, that's going. Now, there's going to be times where maybe you don't have one of the things or two of the things that you're trying to manifest. What you really need to start looking at is, are they totally separate things? For example, maybe you're looking at having a girlfriend and she, a specific person, maybe she lives really close to where you're at, and at the same time, you're looking at manifesting a career, and because of the type of career that you're doing, that you likely will have to move. Well, that's a lot of pressure to put on a relationship right off the bat, to basically, because you're not even dating yet, I'm assuming, right? Maybe it's an ex, I don't know. However, I'm just making up scenarios here, so these scenarios will never fit for everybody. But again, maybe I'm trying to get a relationship going with a specific person, but at the same time, I'm probably going to have to move when this career thing takes off. That's a lot of pressure to put on the relationship, at least the specific person. Now, if this career is something I'm very, very interested in this case, it's probably a really good idea to try to manifest love in general, maybe not necessarily this specific person, unless, they're planning on moving with you. But again, a lot of pressure, right? Just to, hey, by the way, I know we've gone on our first date, but I'm going to be moving in a month. You want to move in with me? That's pretty extreme. You're going to look like a crazy person when you ask someone that quickly. Or you focus on the job and the career, and the relationship's coming after that. The relationship's coming after that. So you're manifesting a relationship with the new career, new job, new city. So as this whole new job unfolds, the city you end up at is also going to be perfect for your relationship thing. So you're manifesting kind of both at the same time. Other things to keep in mind. Kind of helps sometimes. Is it a long-term or short-term? Now, I know that's kind of limiting. I get that. And I get, from the most part, you really shouldn't look at manifestations as longer-term, shorter-term. But just to kind of throw out some examples of what I mean by it. Trying to manifest traffic signals, parking places, trying to manifest, finding $10 or somehow coming up with an extra $20. To me, those are more short-term things versus maybe trying to get a new house. I'd love to manifest a new house. I know I'm not in a place right now to go out and buy a new house. I know I can drive down and get a parking place right now. I know I can drive down the street and go through a bunch of green lights right now. I know I could manifest some way for someone to basically say, hey, Dan, can you help me with this? And here's an extra $40 to do it. I'd be like, yeah, I know I could do that. Those are shorter term things. The house, that's a longer term thing, and that's okay. It's not that it's, again, I know I'm limiting. I know someone could just walk up and ring my door right now and say, hey, Dan, here's a key to the house. I just want to give it to you. Yeah, I know that could happen, right? But again, generally speaking, the way things tend to work out, I generally try to play the odds for the most part, right? And I'm going to, I'm going to go, if it's going to take some time, I'm just going to understand it's going to take some time, and I'm fine with that, and I don't worry about it. I know I'm working towards it. As I said, it's in process. I've said that lots of times in videos. But if it's something that I can get right now, well, very much going to go for it right now. So if you're trying to manifest multiple things at once, is one of them kind of more short-term, the other long-term? That's not a big deal. Then that's definitely something I recommend. You want to manifest like 1 or 2 or 3 of these shorter-term things, and then also have your eye on the prize. You know, where am I going to be 3 years out, 5 years out, right? And keep that prize, you know, and so you're manifesting that at the same time as well as manifesting some other things. Again, if we're trying to manifest 2 long-term things, now we're starting to spread our energy. We're starting to diffuse it. I think that's a proper word. We're starting to split it up, basically. And when you do that, you kind of alter the pace at which it happens. I'm doing the same thing with the 3 things, right? I could just be focused on the relationship. I could just be focused on my career. I could just be focused on YouTube. I'm not. I'm focused on all 3, and I'm okay with the fact that that might be slowing all 3 down a hair, but I'm seeing progress in all 3, which I'm enjoying immensely, right? So, you weigh it, right? What does it matter to you? For me, I don't mind waiting a hair longer for success, a hair longer for the relationship to whatever it's supposed to go. I don't even know where it's going. It's just heading in an awesome direction. So I don't even know. I'm just along the ride, right? I'm like riding on a surfboard on the wave. I mean, I know what direction I'm going, but I don't know when the ride stops, right? Or the YouTube thing. It's growing and happening as it is. It's growing in a healthy pace, by the way, which, if it just instantly went to 100,000 subscribers, it would probably be very hard for me to deal with. Like just the people, the comments, like just things inherently start to happen when you get larger YouTube channels. So again, it's growth in a great way. So it's working for me. Another thing too, to kind of keep in mind, and it's probably one of the last things I'm really going to touch on, is the concept of, are these aligned? Are these things that work together? I think I was kind of touching upon that earlier, but it's another aspect to really just talk about. If they're in the same direction, again, like the relationship, along with the house, and along with maybe the successful career. Apparently wanted to say sex in there for some reason, right? Gee, where's my mind at? So again, if I'm kind of thinking out and it's sort of my big picture life plan, those are aligned. And I do think there's something to be said about manifesting them all simultaneously, because they kind of will need to work together. Your career is going to need to work with your house. Your house is going to need to work with your relationship. Your relationship's going to need to work with your career. All 3 of those really need to be in sync for you to have that happy life, which a lot of us should really be thinking about when we're trying to manifest things is, am I manifesting a better life for myself, a happier life for myself, more happiness in my life? And if you're doing that, yeah, you're totally on the right track. So are they aligned? If they're not aligned, maybe focus on something first, get it accomplished, and then start to focus on the next thing. If you've got a list of 5 things that really matter, prioritize, grab the most important of the 5, focus on it first, grab the next guy second, the next person third, right? And work through them. Is it faster to manifest one thing at a time? Yes, it is. It is. Can that be a problem? Yes, that can also be a problem. Sometimes you might need to manifest multiple things simultaneously because, again, the relationship's not going to happen until the job's in place and until you have, like, you're not living in your mom's attic. Like, living in your mom's attic is definitely not helping your chance of getting a girlfriend. Having no job right now, or maybe you're, a pizza delivery guy. Now, granted, there might be some lady that you meet delivering pizzas. That's totally cool with the fact that you're living in your mom's house, and she might have a place to live for you. But again, if you're focusing on living someplace else, as well as trying to better your job, I just think that's a good idea in general. And then also on top of that, improving your living situation, well, you can see how meeting somebody that maybe has a decent job herself, that certainly maybe has a place where you could move in with her. Well, now all of a sudden you've manifested the ideal situation for your life. So again, doing all 3 is a great idea. But again, it just really depends. So hopefully by giving you some of these understandings of how manifesting works, it's our energy, right? And if they're in the same area, you're just steamrolling along and you're just, taking no prisoners and just kind of moving along. That's great. If it's an issue of needing to make course corrections or changes in direction, focus on one thing at a time, get it accomplished, then focus on the next thing, and that will help you get to your ultimate goals. Now, if you're going to do one thing at a time, I do highly recommend you keep a list, you prioritize it, you visit that list frequently, and certainly every time you remanifest something, then go ahead and look at your list and be like, all right, do I still agree with the order of this? Is there anything missing? And all right, start the next thing. Having a list kind of helps too, because the universe is like, oh, all right, I kind of see what's coming up. It gets you sort of thinking about it, but for the most part, you're focused on the primary manifestation. I hope this kind of answers the question. I don't generally find that there's a lot of black and white answers in everything in life. Usually it's kind of shades of gray for me, frankly. It just really depends on the situation. There's not, we don't all march to the beat of the same drummer, right? Some of us, some things work, some of us, other things work, and that may not work for you, but that may not work for you, right? Like whatever the case is, these things may not work for everybody. You got to find what works for you, and you certainly have to try to understand what it is that you're trying to manifest. Hopefully, again, this makes a difference and gets you kind of down that path that you're trying to go. Going out with a great song by a band called Starship. It's called We Built This City. It's right here on Dan Radio Style.